Nice little technical difficulty to start the Monday. Joe,
It's
what
the
time did you
second
get in
time.
last night, man?
12:30ish.
12:30. Wow.
Yeah, 12:30ish, somewhere around there. Because we were out there at the Frost Center celebrating Greg, and it was me, Alex, Greg, his girl, Alex and Jen were there. I was there. Then I had LG in tow with me as well, and we went to the nicer area. We weren't hanging out over there by the what do you call it, the HEB fan zone. We went to the La Gloria Burgerteca area, because
There
they
you
have the
go.
nicer food, the nicer bar, the nicer drinks. And yeah, dude, I had this martini that they had over there at the Frost Center. It's called La Fresa. It's pretty
Yeah.
good, dude. But they run you like 20 something dollars each, but it was a damn good drink.
Burger Deck is amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the Johnny Hernandez restaurants, right?
Yeah.
It's really good. I've been to the actual location that's out by Southtown. Very nice.
Yeah. And I also I didn't run into them, but I saw the Jackals. They were sitting right across from us, the other end of the arena.
I know you sang along. You chanted along.
Oh, hell no, I didn't. I was right next to LG, and they started the chant, ole, 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 ole. And I was all, stupid, stupid. And then this girl that was next to me, too. And we struck up a conversation, and we were having a good time. And she goes, why are you singing that? And I was telling her the history behind it. She started laughing.
That's funny, dude. 20 seconds till the show starts, baby. It's a Victory Monday.
Oh, yeah. Don't mind me. I'm eating my breakfast.
You got 20 seconds to down it, baby. Let's get that best intro in all of San Antonio podcasting. Let's get the show going.
Area 210, where the dreams don't fade. From the river walk nights to the Alamo shade. We rise together through the highs and the lows. Area 210, oh, it's the life that we chose.
We're rising together on a Victory Monday morning. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. And this is the Area 210 podcast powered by P.F. Chang's La Cantera and Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio. It's a fantastic day because the Spurs won. Spurs are back in second place in the Western Conference standings, Joe. You know what that means? It means we added an all-star. So over the weekend, 2 Spurs were added all-star weekend. Carter Bryant going to be added to the slam dunk competition. And then late last night, it finally happened, Joe. It was announced that Mitch Johnson, head coach Mitch Johnson, the same head coach who a lot of Spurs fans don't like and criticize, was named all-star coach for the upcoming game, dude. NBA all-star coach. In his rookie year, Joe. His first full season, he's the head coach of the all-star team, Joe. Congratulations to Mitch Johnson. He's going to be joining David Jones Garcia, who will be representing the G League and the Rising Stars. You're going to see Victor Wembanyama starting in the All-Star game. You're going to see Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper also take part in Rising Stars. But Mitch Johnson named head coach of the NBA All-Star game. So people ask the question, how did this happen, right?
Yeah.
Well, it happened because the Spurs beat Orlando yesterday at the Frost Bank Center. What a crazy set of circumstances that was before the game started. And then you add the fact that Oklahoma City beat Denver yesterday. And the thing is, the head coach is whoever has the best record on February 1st that didn't coach the year before. So Coach Daigneault of Oklahoma City was not allowed to coach for a second year in a row. So it goes to who is second in the standings, and that is the Spurs. That is Mitch Johnson. So Mitch Johnson and the Spurs staff will also be there. It's a good thing, man. It's a great thing. And again, it's called the Riley rule. So for those of you wondering why can't a coach do 2 years in a row, it's because back when the Lakers were doing the Showtime Lakers in the 80s, from 81 to 90, Pat Riley was the head coach of the Western Conference 8 out of 9 years. And the NBA thought that was just too much. So they instituted the Riley rule, which means you cannot coach in consecutive years. So again, by default, in a way, Mitch Johnson named head coach for the NBA All-Star game. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a cool thing, have representation from the San Antonio Spurs and the All-Star game. But the question is, now that Mitch is named the NBA All-Star coach, how many minutes is Wemby going to play? Because remember, Wemby said, oh, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna take this serious. I bet you Mitch is gonna be like, hold my beer. No, sir. You're gonna play like maybe 10, 12 minutes and go sit down, because he doesn't want him to get hurt. So I'm wondering how that's gonna play in, but I'm proud, and of the San Antonio Spurs being represented in the NBA All-Star game and that you have Mitch Johnson being named. But this wouldn't be possible, Mike, if the Spurs didn't win yesterday, which was a crazy scenario, and we're going to get into that. But the Spurs also needed the Denver Nuggets to lose. The Spurs needed to win. The Nuggets needed to lose in order for Mitch Johnson to be named the NBA All Star coach, and that happened. So everybody was all excited after the game.
Yeah, so before we went into the weekend, we just said that if the Spurs had won both games over the weekend, then Mitch would be head coach. Well, they
Yeah.
lost one of those games, had to come back, win this game, had to have Oklahoma City go on the road to beat Denver last night for this all to happen. But the accolades are there. Again, it's the 75th All-Star game, which is going to be Sunday, February 15th. Again, Mitch Johnson was named the Western Conference head coach of the month for December. He will become the second All-Star game coach in Spurs history behind Greg Popovich. And again, he's been with the team for a decade. He was started as a G League assistant back in 2016, has risen through the ranks to become head coach of the Spurs. Been around for a decade, so it's not like he's a newbie. He's a rookie head coach, but he's not a newbie when it comes to the Spurs. And he's having a more positive than negative year. I know there's been some cases where we've praised him. There have been some cases where we've criticized him. We hate the fact that the Spurs play up to competition and play down to competition. That's just what they always do. But Mitch Johnson's playing with the roster that he was dealt. And we have no shooters. Another bad three-point shooting night. Spurs now with the 9th worst three-point shooting as a team in all of the NBA. But the Spurs got a win yesterday. There was you were at the game, Joe.
Yeah.
But before we get into the game, the craziness that was, they played a game in which they traveled. They didn't get in at midnight, get a good night's sleep, and then play this game. It was a 24-hour delay because they got snowed in Charlotte. That game got moved up to an 11 a.m. start. It was like a brunch there in Charlotte. It was a brunch game for us, right?
It was
Spurs
crazy.
go off and lose that game. They try to get back on the plane. They're sitting on the tarmac for 2 hours and literally doing nothing because the airport eventually closed. They had to spend the night. They tried coming in early in the morning. They had system failure with their plane. Cabin pressure got lost. They landed in Atlanta. They had to have a delay in Atlanta. They had to switch planes and deplane in Atlanta, then get on another plane and fly to San Antonio. And then at that point, they're trying to figure out what time the game's going to start because I believe they landed at 3 p.m. in San Antonio. They were trying to get the game going at 6. They pushed it back to 7:30 or 8, and then they moved it up to 7:30. It's a big old cluster F out there for the Spurs. And I know a lot of people out there were like, well, they're not flying the plane. It's no big deal. And Sean Elliott coming out and saying, well, we used to do that back in the day. We used to travel on the same days that we played. The fact of the matter is, Joe, is that that's not the way these players operate. Yeah, every football player, baseball player, basketball player has a system by which they function. They wake up at the same time. They work out at the same time. They go through shoot around at the same time. There's a certain rhythm to a game. And the fact that they were not in that rhythm made it difficult for them to play last night, and they still won that game despite the fact that Stephon Castle was out there. And again, Elias has pointed out the fact that it was him. It wasn't just you, Elias, on our chat powered by PFChanks La Cantera, saying that they're not flying the plane or all that. No big deal. It is a big deal. It is a big deal because these players played a certain way, dude. It's a certain rhythm to it all. There's a reason why West Coast teams in the NFL don't play well when they go to the East Coast. We talk about that all the time, Joe. They don't play noon games well because their body rhythm is off. And it's the same thing, Joe.
I'm just showing some video that Jacob Toby, the Spurs announcer, put on here. And he was saying, look, this is what happened on the tarmac when they were stuck. And I kind of showed the snow and all that. And they weren't allowed to leave. They were not taken off. They canceled the flight basically. And then they show, look, we're in San Antonio. And this is around 3:00-ish, somewhere around there where they finally landed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just weird. One of these weird games where the game kept getting pushed back, and then fans were really upset because they labeled it as a Sesame Street themed, let's say, game at the arena, right? So it was a Sesame Street theme to it, like they have Fiesta nights and whatnot. So
Yeah.
this was touted as something that was very family friendly. Bring the kids, have fun out there. They're gonna have like Elmo and Cookie Monster. The coyote was dressed up in I think a Elmo shirt or something. And this was supposed to be at 3 o'clock. Got pushed back 6 o'clock. Okay, family, still family friendly, right? If you have little ones, you can still take it out because you got to understand if you have kids, by 8 o'clock, man, these kids are ready to be put down and go to sleep. They had school tomorrow. And
Right.
then they pushed the game back even further to 8 o'clock. And then that's where the wheels fell off with a lot of these families. They got mad and they were wanting a refund. They're like, what am I doing with my kids? I take them out there to the game. They're going to be all upset. They're going to be tired and whatnot for school the next day. So I understand that. It was just them having to push things back in order for them to have time to prepare, I guess, for the game properly. But the Spurs still made it go. I didn't know if the game was going to take place or not after they moved it again. I was like, well, we'll see what happens here. And then they moved it again, and we got the emails, saying that it's an 8 p.m. Tip off. But it was a good game. The players did look a little sluggish. I'm not going to lie out there. Even the girl that was next to me talking when she goes, man, they look tired. She was saying Wemby looked a little gassed in the beginning, and they still found a way to win. I knew that the Magic were going to give the Spurs fits, and sure enough, they came out and they were playing them tough defensively, but the Spurs still found a way to win, even though this weird scenario happened where they're playing, getting takeoff, then they took off, then they had to land again, then they had to get back in the air, come back to San Antonio. It was a lot of traveling, and that takes a toll on you, no matter who you are.
It does.
Traveling in the air, flying sucks, dude. Regardless.
And they
So
didn't
when you
fly in
have
from
delays,
Houston.
oh
They didn't fly in from Houston. They didn't fly in from
yeah,
Dallas. They had and then to have a cabin pressure failure and have to then divert to Atlanta and then deplane and it's freezing cold in these places.
yeah,
It's just a bad situation, man. But the NBA really can't do much other than just play the game whenever they consider it to be relatively safe. I'm just glad nobody got injured
yeah,
in last night's game. I cannot believe people were asking for their money back, dude. Like if they knew the situation, right? What were they expecting? The Spurs to come out there, like as Joy-Con mentioned earlier in our chat, like a middle school football team, just show up at the school, travel for 3 hours on bus, and then on time for the game, and then just
yeah,
start warming up. It doesn't work that way. These are professional players, and especially if you consider the fact that Wemby has a 45-minute stretch routine before he actually takes the court to even warm up, right? What he does with his feet, what he does with his
yeah,
ankles. They can't just roll up into the arena and say, "Oh, let me just put my uniform on and go out there and play." It just doesn't work that way. But it's funny, man, because Spurs still got the win. I would never have. I would have just given somebody a side eye if I heard them
yeah,
want the whole thing about, "Hey, well, our kids." I mean, I get it, but crap happens. The Spurs didn't do this to you. Mother Nature did, right? It wasn't
yeah,
anything other than that. But Mitch Johnson going to be part of the All-Star game festivities, which highlights him and might actually propel him to Coach of the Year honors because you take a look at what the Spurs have been able to do, the comeback that the Spurs have had. He will be in that talk. Joe, in the Eastern Conference, though, the Detroit Pistons are only a game behind the Oklahoma City Thunder right now in the standings. I don't think any love is being given to Detroit and what they've been doing. They've been annihilating teams, Joe. I know everyone got all excited about the Knicks earlier in the season, say that because they won the Emirates Cup beating the Spurs. But the Pistons beat the Nets yesterday 130-77. The Pistons are for real, dude. This is a team that was in the lottery with us a couple of years ago. Now 36-12, Joe.
yeah,
36-12. Detroit Pistons just swimming along. No one paying attention. This is like Indiana in college football. No one paid attention to them until the playoffs started, and then you look and go, man, that team's actually pretty good. Under the radar, here come the Detroit Pistons, 36-12, one game behind Oklahoma City for the best record in the entire NBA. Again, you can be part of our show by taking part in our media share as well. 830-391-9164, 830-391-9164. Before we get into more sports talk, Joe, thank you to you and Spernandez for holding it down on Friday because That was a scary situation for me a little bit. Chica was freaking out. So I had my dental procedure Thursday afternoon, and it almost didn't happen, Joe, because
God
they said that my blood pressure was too high. And
damn.
they're like, is your blood pressure high because you're nervous, or is it just bad? Now, over the past 2 or 3 years, I've gone in to like, donate blood or whatever, get my blood pressure checked. And it's gone from being high to being kind of okay to being high to kind of okay. It just goes back and forth, right? But man, I was feeling sluggish, man. I was feeling just sluggish. And when they said it's too high to do the procedure, after they'd already injected me with everything,
Tell them to take Chica away from you, man. That was raising your blood pressure.
so they gave me my numbers and they said you probably need to go get this checked. So I told Chica, I'll go get it checked. And she was like, no, go get it checked now. So I got up Friday morning and I went to go see if a doctor would take me. And lo and behold, a doctor took me, and I ran over there. It's the first time I've ever had prescriptions in my entire life, Joe, that were like
Jeez,
that I'm
bro.
supposed to take daily. So they prescribed me two things, Joe. They prescribed me um, blood pressure medication, and they prescribed me a water pill. And the water pill is supposed to get rid of salt in my system. Joe, Joe, I felt like trash for about 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I had a jolt of like energy. And the amount of weight I lost this weekend was startling. All the water weight, all the salt and all that stuff being,
Yeah.
they told me, they're like, you're going to lose significant weight this week. Your body's going to get rid of salt. And my goodness, over the weekend, Joe, I lost 6 pounds.
Not bad.
Dude, it's all panza too. It's feeling good. Man.
Panza.
So I've been on this blood pressure medication. They said for some people it takes effect right away. Other people it takes effect a week or two down the road. Just depends on the body. I woke up this morning at 6 a.m., went downstairs, and I cleaned the entire downstairs. I was just wired. I am wired. This is what it's like to feel healthy? I like it. I like it. So yes, the tooth is gone. Still can't see it, baby. It's way in the back. It's way in the back.
Tooth.
It's way in the
Yeah, I
back.
was gonna share some photos that I had of the Spurs game on Sunday here, because I was at the game and I was with my boy LG. That was me and LG sitting in our seats, courtesy of Spernandez. We had a good time,
Mhm.
and this was during the
he's a good
game
guy.
here. I had to go ahead and
Save the cups.
stack some cups in honor of Rick.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, this was us at the Twin Peaks near the house, man, celebrating a victory beer. And Jen was drinking, I think, a wine or something. So it was all in all, it was a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, by the way, congratulations to those who took part in our MyFitnessPal walk map my walk challenge, the Lose Your Panza challenge. We had some people who really put up some massive numbers. I'm looking for the numbers right now, but the challenges that we had here. Let me see here. The history of the challenge here. The Make It Count challenge. Congratulations! The winner is Alex Noriega.
Damn.
153 miles logged. Not pedometer miles where you wear it all day. No, but actually turning it on and going for a walk. And 153 miles for the month of January. Alonso Alvarado came in second with 143 miles. He reached out to me and said he was so motivated by Alex that they were going back and forth, neck and neck with who could have the most miles. They were like iron was sharpening iron. Alonso lost 12 pounds in the month of January. Very, very
That's
cool.
pretty
So
good, man.
Alex is going to has won the prize, which is an HB gift card. So we'll give that to him this week. But we got to do it for Alonso, man, because 43 miles as the runner-up is pretty staggering. Jen Noriega, 49 miles. And then we have Black Bucket with just under 50 miles as well. Very, very nice, Joe. You add it all up, man. It's like 450, 500 miles walked by those who took part, man.
It's not
So
bad.
So Sam Salinas on our chat says, 150 miles. Congratulations, Alex. You walked from San Antonio to the Salinas statue. That's about right, because Corpus is 145 miles away. So very
And
nice.
look at Our friend Tex-Mex Frank says he's got a hat for Alex as a gift to him.
Nice.
Thank you, Frank. Appreciate you.
Very, 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 very cool. Spurs, Joe, get the win again. I think that people got butt hurt over the weekend over that one article that was written nationally about Dylan Harper. And did y'all get into this story with
No,
Fernandez on Friday?
no.
So there was a national story. It's one of those beat writers that came out and asked the question: would the Spurs have been better off if they had drafted Con Knipple out of Duke instead of Dylan Harper from Rutgers? And all the mock drafts beforehand, Joe, had said the Spurs would probably pick around 5 or 6. And if they picked at 5 or 6, Joe, who would we get? More than likely, it would have been Con Knipple. But the Spurs won the lottery, got the number 2 pick, and they picked the consensus number 2 player in the draft, Dylan Harper. Cooper Flagg went number 1, Dylan Harper went 2. The question became, and a lot of Spurs fans got kind of upset about this article because they were saying, and this post, this tweet, because they were saying, man, we like Dylan Harper, right?
Yeah.
But I think the reason why Spurs fans got upset was because there might be some truth to it. Now, I had mentioned on Twitter that if I had a magic time machine, I went back in time, and I was also the GM of the Spurs, I still would choose Harper. So I'm not going to come out here with the hot take of, that guy was right. We shouldn't have drafted Harper. We should have drafted Knipple. But Knipple, who is a hot shooting player, is exactly what the Spurs need right now. And Joe, have you seen Knipple's stats for his career? I mean, he's a rookie player, Joe. He's averaging 32 minutes a game. So first of all, that's a lot more minutes than what Harper's averaging, right?
Yeah.
But he averages 18.8 points per game, 48% from the field, 42.7 from 3. Joe's EFG is over 60%. Also shoots 90% from the free throw line, gets 5 rebounds and 4 assists. So he's a 19, 5, and 4 guy. Also averages almost a steal a game. And he's not a turnover machine. Could the Spurs have used a player like that? Yes. Would the Spurs be better with Knipple than Harper? Maybe. But I still like Harper long-term, Joe.
But here's the thing, too, that people don't understand. If Con Knipple was selected, right, and he was brought on here, they like he can shoot. He's a shooter. Kid he can shoot the ball, right? He's great. What kind of minutes would he have gotten here with the San Antonio Spurs?
Well, you shoot 43% from 3. You're going to get some minutes.
Yeah, but it's also how many touches is he getting per game? And it's also the he's in the perfect place for him, I think, right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's getting minutes, he's getting touches, and that system that they have over there is more conducive to exposing his talents rather than him having to conform to playing in a Spurs system. I'm just saying that even though the players and Spurs fans are like, oh, this is a great kid, he would have been perfect for the San Antonio Spurs. Maybe, but I don't know if he would have been as productive as he is right now if he had been on the San Antonio Spurs. Kid still was a shooter. No doubt he would have been able to shoot. He would have been a good fit, for the team, but I don't know if the stats would have been the same. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to say that he would have been a worse player here with the Spurs. No, I'm just saying I don't think the numbers would have been quite where they're at right now if he played with the team.
Do you think it's weird that a lot of the NBA writers are comparing the 2025 NBA draft to the 2003 NBA draft? The 2003 NBA draft was famous because you had 4 All-Stars, 4 Hall of Famers drafted in the top 5 spots. And then you had one player that was just a complete bust. So back in 2003, LeBron James was drafted number 1 overall. Darko Milicic was number 2. 3, 4, and 5, though, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. You go to 2025's draft, Cooper Flagg, dude. He's balling, dude. He struggled in November. He almost had a 50-point game the other day. You were about to sign the Cooper Flagg apology for him. Dylan Harper at 2. More than likely will be an all-star at some point in his career. If he's doing what he's
Yeah.
doing now at 19, he's going to be fine. VJ Edgecombe, who, if I was, because remember when we were talking about the draft last year, the two players that I liked the most, because I didn't think the Spurs were going to be in the top three. I was excited because I knew Flag was going to go one, I knew Harper was going to go two, and I was like, okay, look, we're going to have the choice, Joe, between four players: VJ Edgecombe, Con Knipple, Ace Bailey, and Trey Johnson. And I told you, I'll take any one of those players. So whichever falls to the Spurs, we win the lottery, move up to number two, we get Dylan Harper. But at
Yeah.
number three of the draft last year, he had VJ Edgecombe, who just shot out of the gate, dude. Shoot or
Yeah.
shoot. Number four, Con Knipple, shoot 43% almost from three for the year. And then Ace Bailey's finally starting to ball. It took a while, but he's starting to hoop it up a little bit. Then you have Trey Johnson, who's a shooter. Jeremiah Fears, who went number 7, is going to be all NBA rookie first team. Dylan Harper will probably be second team all NBA, which is fine because Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was second team all NBA when he was a rookie back in 2019. It's so funny though that you have some drafts, Joe, that are really good, and you have some drafts that are really bad. Last year's 2024's draft, the one where Stephon Castle won a Rookie of the Year, was a weak ass draft. In fact, you can make the argument that there of the top 15 players, that there were only 2 players that were worth a damn, and we got one of them in Stephon Castle. But you look at the what happened last year, top 7 picks, dude, solid. And what's coming up this year is that the Spurs have the Atlanta pick in the swap, right now projected to be the 12th pick. We're one game away from being a top 10 pick at that point, a projected top 10 pick. We need teams. Guess what team we need to win, Joe?
Yo.
We need Charlotte.
Oh.
So when Charlotte beat the Spurs, I wasn't that mad at it. I was like, okay, I want the Spurs to win. Don't get me wrong. But if we're going to lose to a team, let's at least lose to a team that can actually improve our draft stock. And that was one of them. So it's pretty interesting. The Clippers are also helping us out by getting their wins as well. Again, what they're doing is they're lowering the standing of the Atlanta Hawks at that point. But my goodness, man. I am excited about Mitch Johnson being coach. I'm excited about now I have interest in this game, Joe. You tell me that Wemby. What if Mitch Johnson's coaching against Wemby?
Okay.
Because it's not West versus East. It's U.S. domestic players against international players. What if he's coaching against Wemby?
If he's coaching against Wemby, he's going to say just play him physical.
And
Isn't
did you see the Rising Stars also?
Yeah.
Is not freshman versus sophomore anymore. They had a draft, and Castle and Harper are on the same team.
Yeah. I saw that, man.
So you were gonna say play Wemby tough, right?
Play Wemby tough, man. Because there was something that I saw over the weekend, and I had seen it circulating, and it was Dylan Brooks, man, of all people, was talking about what's the magic sauce behind guarding Wemby, right?
Right.
And they're like, well, he's throwing shade. He's not throwing shade. He's speaking facts, like
Yeah.
how do you play Wemby? What's the magic to guarding Wemby? And he basically said same thing. Just play him tough, play him physical, play him tough. And he says when you apply the pressure to him, basically he folds, under pressure. And I think I saw this, Jeff Garcia was sharing it, but I had seen it circulating in other places too. And it was kind of like rubbing Spurs fans a certain way, where I think they were getting kind of upset. But we have gone on record on this show and talked about the same thing, saying basically that if the teams are going to start playing Wemby tough, and that's how you're going to combat his length. You kind of play him real close. You get him like in a little box basically, and you just start playing him physical. You take away the length by playing him physical, and you put a guard on him, somebody smaller versus a taller player, like I don't know, like a center or something. Because if he matches up against a taller player, of course Wemby's going to have the advantage. But when you put up somebody that's a little bit smaller, of course there's your disadvantage there. Smaller player seems to play Wemby tougher, and they're quicker, and they're just basically pestering him out there. And I'm not going to play the video because there's a lot of like cursing in here, but Dylan Brooks was talking with that kid Neon or whatever, and this is the where I saw it, and this is I think from Neon's X. Like it's just the little snippet here, but I mean that's basically what he was saying. Just playing Wemby physical, and as you can see, it's from Jeff Garcia there. What do you think about that, Mike? It's not like it's
It's not a
hasn't
secret.
been known, you know?
Yes, not a secret. So we heard this from inside the NBA last week when Charles Barkley was saying if they had to go toe to toe with Wemby, they'd lose because you can't
Yeah,
combat the fact that he's 7'5". So you have to do physicality to beat him because you have no other chance at that point. If you let him just get to his spot, he's gonna dominate you at all times. So part of me thinks to myself, well, at least they're admitting it, right? At
yeah,
least they're not playing dumb by it. Another part of me is thinking to myself, well, is Wemby the face of the NBA or one of the faces of the NBA? Why is the NBA not protecting him? Why are they not giving him the Luka Doncic treatment or the Nikola Jokic treatment or the Giannis treatment, LeBron treatment, where you get to have fouls, called on your behalf, right?
yeah,
Wemby is getting manhandled out there. And I know that there are a lot of Spurs fans out there, and I've been seeing it on the chats by P.F. Chang's Locatera saying, well, that's what Sohan would have been good for. He would have stepped up. You know what? That whole step up crap, stop it. Stop it. You know how many points step up gets you? 0.
yeah,
Okay. Now I understand defending your boy, but do you know who I want defending this guy? I want somebody who can play basketball defending this guy. I don't want some guy who can't play offense and is overrated defensively staying up for this guy, right?
yeah,
So, like Dylan Brooks is somebody who's very physical. And Draymond Green, very physical, kind of a dirty ass player. But guess what? They also can ball. They can also hoop. So we need a guy like that, somebody who can hoop and is also intimidating. But I was watching last night's game, and I made it a point because sometimes I like to focus on one player.
yeah,
Sohan in the past, or I focus on Dylan Harper, what he's doing off ball. Because when you watch basketball, Joe, what most people do is they watch the ball, right?
yeah,
Fox has the ball, passes to Champagne, and your eyes just gravitate towards whoever has the ball. But what I was doing yesterday's game was I made it a point to watch Wemby the entire time. And what are they doing against Wemby? And it was startling how difficult it is for him to get position down low. Like
yeah,
I was trying, and as I was watching this and being frustrated, I didn't know if it was a Wemby issue, a referee issue, or just brilliant defense. We see the pushes, right? We see
yeah,
them push off and not getting called. We see him getting scratches, all that stuff. We see that. But what we don't see, Joe, are these defenses doing essentially an illegal defense, but disguising it so it doesn't get called. And what they're doing is they're creating a gate, Joe. It's kind of like if you and I were to walk into a restaurant or a bar or a hallway someplace. You and I are stocky dudes, right? If we're standing side to side next to each other, guess what? No one can walk through us because
yeah,
we're a wall, and you have to go around. And what they're doing, Joe, is they're going hip to hip, 2 or 3 people, kind of like an offensive line, guarding him from not guarding him, but just standing there, preventing him to go from point A to point B because they know where does he want to go? He wants to go to the block. If he wants to go to the block, instead of allowing him to go from point A to point B, they're making him go to C back to B. They're having him go around, Joe,
yeah,
because if he runs through them, that's an offensive foul. And he's also not imposing enough physically to demand his presence be there. This isn't Shaq. This isn't even David Robinson. Wemby's too thin. So he cannot just impose his will on these guys. Like Shaq, you would see Shaq running down the court back in the day.
yeah,
People would move out the way. They part like the Red Sea because why? He was physically imposing. You see that with Giannis these days. But it was weird how they were doing this gate action, Joe. They were 2 or 3 people lined
Yeah.
up like this, and meeting him at the free throw line, going, "You got to get around us. You got to get
Yeah,
around us,"
they're
and it
putting
just
up a
delays
wall
us.
on
It
him.
delays it. It delays him, that wall.
Yeah, so that's why he starts his motion either at the top of the key or at the top of the 3-point line, asks for the ball, dribbles, passes it, then tries to get in a better position. But it's hard for him, like you said, when he tries to get inside the paint because they know that's where he's going to flourish. So they don't want him there. But Wemby has to do a better job, and his team has to do a better job of setting the picks, setting the screens, getting him into a better position instead of just camping out behind the 3-point line where they're not a very good 3-point shooting team. Like
Not at all.
you have to get the best guy out there on the court, your best player in the position to score. That's going to be, let's say, efficient. Because a lot of things that the Spurs do at times is they take again those ill-advised threes, and he saw that again against the Magic when the Spurs were going through their shooting droughts and weren't able to put up boards, and the Magic went on a run. Then finally, Wemby came back in the game, started getting those defensive stops, and the Spurs started turning defense into offense, got something going there, and were able to create a buffer. But looking at how they play Wemby and they play him very physical. I mean, I'm gonna say, Mike, like at times the physicality that they're putting up against the kid, it's like watching a WWE wrestling match
It
out there.
is.
They're getting really physical with him. And we do got an incoming super chat we gotta address.
Here comes the money.
And there you go, Mike.
Yeah, it says from I'm still here 10. Oh my God. It says they don't guard Victor. You're allowed to push him like the NFL blocking sled. It's the he's 7'5" tax. No fouls. Sneeze on SGA. Magic rule book. Appreciate the super chat and the support there. Thank you so
Appreciate
much
it.
for that. And that kind of leads into what you were talking about, Joe, is that we all see it. He is, when LeBron cries for a foul, we're like, dude, come on, man. You're bigger than everybody else there. You're stronger than everybody else there. You're not even being touched. You're not
Yeah.
you're when you get touched, you act like you got shot with a shotgun, right? But there's certain players, because there's another player, Joe, that is also getting beaten up on a daily basis. And we don't talk about it, Joe, because it's beyond Wemby. It's Nikola Jokic from Denver.
Oh yeah.
Have you
He's
seen
got
what
the
he
battle
looks like?
scars.
Have you seen what he looks like after a game?
Yeah, dude. He's all beat up.
He looks like he got attacked by 6 cats, right?
Yeah.
And is it because they're foreign players? I don't know. They don't do that to Giannis because Giannis will kick your ass. Giannis is a big dude.
Wemby had something to say yesterday, Mike, after the game, when he was addressing the media. This is courtesy of Hector Ledesma. I'm going to play this for you so you can kind of hear what he had to say, because Desmond Bain was getting quite physical with Wemby, so much so that he actually got a flagrant foul called
Yeah.
against him, gave him an elbow. And the girl that was sitting next to me at the game, like I said, we were just talking about the Spurs and all that. She was pointing out at one point in time, she goes, "Man, look at Wemby." She was showing me, like, look when he was sitting down on the bench, because we had a good view of the bench. She's like, "Look, they played him so physical. He's got another scratch on his arm. Like they scratched him pretty good up on his arm there." And I was like, "Oh yeah, And she was telling me the same thing. She goes, "Look at how they're playing him. Like they're really beating him up out there on the court." And I'm like, he's gonna have to get used to that. I was telling her, because that's basically how teams are trying to combat his length. So let's listen to what Wemby had to say.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't think I was frustrated. I know they do that because they don't want to play the game. They don't want to play a basketball game. But I mean, our job on offense is to make it a basketball game. So that's how we're gonna beat them. But it's just the game. It's like this every night.
Yep.
It flies in the face. You can see the frustration, hear the frustration in his voice. It flies in the face of what the NBA has become. Okay, we complain about the fact that the NBA has become soft, right? Ticky-tack calls and stuff like that. Okay, if that's the way it's going to be called, why isn't it called that way for Wemby?
Yeah.
Like, why are you allowed to manhandle and bully him? I mean, like you said, it's gotten to the point where Dylan Brooks goes on a podcast to brag about it. You have Charles Barkley talking about on Inside the NBA saying, you just bully him. You just bully him. And here's the thing: guess what bullying is, Joe? Those are fouls.
Mm.
Those are
Mhm.
fouls. May not have been fouls in 1986, but they are in 2026.
Look,
They're
man, I'm gonna be
fouls.
honest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give you some words of advice here for Wemby, man. Wemby needs to say, that's enough, dude. I ain't
Yeah, he
putting
needs
up
to
with this
push back.
nonsense no more. Even if he gets a flagrant call against him, if they're beating you up and they're doing all this to you, go out there and elbow the dude, do something, knock him on his ass, like stare him down and be like, nah, this isn't gonna happen. Stand up for yourself. Even if you get fined or what have you, dude.
You say stand up for yourself. Felix Ayala on our chat right now, powered by PF Chang's La Cantera, says the frustration is they need an enforcer, Portis, Draymond, Brooks, someone to clock somebody over the head. I get that. You're in some respect you would want to have one that's there, as you mentioned. You mentioned players who could actually
Yeah.
play. Sohan is barely an NBA player, so he was not going to be that guy. But he needs to do it for himself. And it reminds me of you have these coaches who suddenly get the refs in their on their side because they start bitching and complaining, moaning, cussing up a storm. They absorb a technical foul or they get ejected from a game to make a point. Pop did that several times.
Maybe Mitch needs to do that,
No, Wemby needs to do that.
Yeah.
Wemby
Stand
needs
up
to
for
push
yourself.
somebody.
And look at
And
his numbers yesterday,
because
Mike.
Wemby's not going to get his ass kicked. No one's going to punch Wemby. We don't live in that society anymore. It's like
Yeah.
the movie. It's like the movie Swingers when that guy when Sue pulls out a gun in the parking lot and he's like, "What do you think they're going to step up to you, Snoop Dogg?" Nothing was going to happen. Nothing's going to happen if Wemby pushes Dylan Brooks. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Nothing's going. Wemby can kick Dylan Brooks in the face. Nothing's going to happen because fights don't happen in the NBA anymore. They don't.
Yeah. And look at what he put up, Mike. Despite getting, bullied out there on the court, he actually had a decent enough game. He had 25 points, 8 rebounds, 4 steals, 5 blocks. Not too shabby, for somebody who
Was getting bullied.
the purposes was getting bullied and was tired, because of all the flying and all the travel and whatnot. He had a decent night. He didn't have a good showing against the Hornets.
Oh my God!
You can
We have a
contribute that
super
to
chat.
whatever.
We have a super chat coming on in. I like the name. I like the name.
Here comes the money.
Mike's big tooth is the, is the person. Says, I'm still here, guys. Don't forget me. Okay, so what ended up happening was I had a filling from years ago that wasn't done properly, and it jacked up my tooth, and that's why it busted on me. Okay, but dude, I feel like $1,000,000, Joe. I had been eating healthier. Okay, well, not perfect, but a lot healthier than the years past.
Yeah.
Nothing was happening. I was feeling, sluggish. I would take a daily nap. All that stuff. It was probably because I had high blood pressure. Joe, I've been taking that medication for 4 days now. Joe, I am wired. I am wired. If this is what it's like to feel healthy, I
Yeah.
am wired. Dude, I pissed out so much water and salt over the weekend. My clothes fit so well. Dude, I mean, I'd already lost 2 or 3 pounds on
You're
my
gonna be
own.
like that Frank
At
Thomas
5 or 6
commercial.
what's that?
Yeah, Thomas commercial with the eugenics. She'll thank you too. She'll
She'll
thank
take
you
it
too.
too.
Oh,
We're doing one-handed
Mike.
push-ups, getting stronger.
Miguelito eugenics.
Yeah, Tony is on our chat saying Mike is the most happiest guy to take blood pressure pills because I feel great. I don't know what it is. I feel great. I'm
We
not
got another.
tired. Dude, I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning, right?
Yeah.
You know what I don't like to do? I ease into the day typically. I kind of get up, get some caffeine, read some sports, check some work emails. I ease into the day. I woke up this morning and I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clean the house.
No.
Went downstairs, threw out the trash, took out the trash to the curb. I swept up. I vacuumed the entire downstairs. I did dishes. I put away the dishes. I threw out old food from the refrigerator. Dude, the house is sparkling right now. And then I went to Starbucks to get Chica breakfast. And it was all up at 6:15. I'm not that way, Joe. I'm
Yeah.
wired. And because I'm heavily medicated now, Joe.
We got
25 milligrams.
another incoming super chat. I'm still here, Tan. $5 super chat. We appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, he says it's the Jordan Rules 2.0, except the whole NBA versus Victor. Not self-crowned bad boys versus Jordan and Bird. It's cheating. Interesting. Do you, I am a firm believer that referees talk to each other. They do talk to each other. They discuss things as far as like how things are supposed to be called. There are referee associations and unions, and there's referee camps and whatnot. They have to be looking at this and thinking to themselves, how are we going to resolve the Wemby issue? Because is it to the point, Joe, where if they let Wemby do what he wants to do, he'll be unstoppable? Because if Wemby got to the blocks every single time, Joe, he'd average 40 points per game.
Yeah.
Is there a concerted effort to prevent him from being that guy? Now, again, Akeem Olajuwon got to a spot. Robinson got to a spot. Shaq got to a spot. You couldn't do that gate action where you just line up 2 or 3 people and expect Shaq, because Shaq will just run you the F over.
Yeah.
Wemby can't finesse his way through. Wemby needs to run through it. You know how you run through it, Joe? You run through the shoulders of the 2 players, Joe. Because if you run through the shoulders of the 2 players, that's a defensive foul. If you run over one, it's an offensive foul.
Mira Wemby.
Oh my God! Some of the blocks that he had yesterday,
They're pretty good.
Some of the blocks that he had, the one that he threw off the backboard, that he spiked it off the backboard, was pretty nice, dude. This is courtesy of FanDuel, who might be dying pretty soon.
This week, man, if they can't make a deal, Mike, they're on life support. They if they have to file Chapter 7 officially this week, they're pulling the plug on them, dude. And
Yeah.
there goes all the regional sports network coverage, including the San Antonio Spurs. You all being able to see them here
They
local.
fam-
So
They famously
they
didn't pay the NBA for the rights the other
no,
day.
they didn't, dude. They missed a payment, so they got to do something. I mean, they're looking for a last minute heroic to stay alive, and we'll see if there's something that they can pull off. If not, Mike, what's going to happen is that the San Antonio Spurs, much like some of the other RSNs, they're going to have to make a deal with some of their local television networks here, like Ken's 5 or Fox 29 or what have you, to show the games.
Mhm.
So that might bode well for the San Antonio Spurs fans who are complaining about the pricing and streaming this and streaming that and on all these different platforms.
Ain't
If
nothing
they
for
show the
free,
games
Joe.
loyal,
Ain't
oh
nothing
no,
for free.
there's nothing for free. But I'm saying it bodes well for the locals because you're gonna have to at least get an antenna to watch the games if in fact it does show on your local television network like Ken's 5 or Fox 29. But the problem is like Fox 29 or Ken's 5, they got to pay for the rights to show the damn game.
Yeah,
So the
which
Spurs
just
are going to
means
get paid anyway.
yeah. Hey, the All-Star reserves were announced over the weekend. Anthony Edwards, Jamal Murray for the West, or the
Yeah.
Western teams, the Western players, I shall say. Anthony Edwards, Jamal Murray, Chet Holmgren, Murray and Holmgren, first-time All-Stars, by the way. Kevin Durant, the Houston Rockets, Devin Booker, Denny Avdija, and LeBron James for his 22nd All-Star appearance. He does not deserve to be an All-Star. LeBron James, by the way, was named an All-Star above Kawhi Leonard. So 2 questions for you, Joe. Are you okay with the Lifetime Achievement Award that LeBron James got by being named an All-Star again? And do you think that the whole thing about declining an invite for Kawhi Leonard was some sort of punishment for all
Punishment? No. But think about it like this. Who would you rather have? Kawhi Leonard or do you want LeBron James? Send the OG off, with one last hurrah, let him get in the All-Star game, one more time. Or Kawhi Leonard, that
Yeah.
probably is not even going to want to play, probably going to be a diva. He's more trouble than he's worth. I mean, it's not a hard decision to make, What Would he even
Ka-
show if he got invited? Would he even show up?
Who, Kawhi?
Kawhi, would he
Yeah,
even
he
show
would.
up?
He would.
I
He's
don't
shown
know,
up.
man.
He's shown up 6 times before. Kawhi Leonard is a 6-time All Star. Kawhi Leonard is also somebody who is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Somebody asked me over the weekend, is Kawhi going to go in as a Spur? Because again, you go in as a team, and what team is he going to go in for? Is he going in as a Spur, as a Raptor? He was only with the Raptor for one season, won the chip, or is he going to be going as a Clipper? I mean, he didn't accomplish anything with the Clippers. Wouldn't it be weird, Joe, if he goes in as a Spur?
Spurs Judas doesn't deserve the All-Star game.
But the whole thing about the controversy, the Pablo Torre reports and all that stuff about how Steve Ballmer paid Kawhi Leonard under the table to circumvent the salary cap rules was this punishment for him. Because arguably, Joe, Kawhi Leonard is probably the 5th best player in the NBA this year. So for him to not get one of the 7 roster spots there as a reserve is kind of weird. Now, the Eastern Conference, one of these pissed me off, Joe. Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Johnson, Karl Anthony Towns, Pascal Siakam. Gross. It's a crappy team they got to pick. Norman Powell, first time for Norman Powell. Also, first time for Jalen Johnson as well. Scotty Barnes of Toronto, and then Jalen Duren of the Detroit Pistons, and that one pissed me off, Joe.
Why?
You know why that one pissed me off? Because guess who I wanted the Spurs to draft in 2022?
Duren.
During my old show, I was like, you know who the Spurs need? They need Jalen Duren. That was one because everyone talked about how famously the Spurs took Sohan at number 9, and I believe at 12 you had Jalen Williams of Oklahoma City Thunder go, and he became an All-Star. Well, who went after him? It was Jalen Duren. So now there are 2 All-Stars that were selected a couple of spots after Sohan was selected in a draft in which we had 3 first-rounders and Sohan bust, Wesley bust, Branham bust. But Joe, we're going to get a tribute video for Sohan at some point. There was video apparently of Sohan diving for a ball yesterday, even though he was not in the game.
I don't know. I didn't see it anywhere.
And
hey, but
also over the weekend, real fast, Joe, there was a questionable call that went to the video. This was the game against Charlotte.
Yeah.
And it was like a 1-point game down the stretch. The Spurs lost at the end. Sohan was talking smack to somebody on Charlotte's team and was away from the bench near midcourt. Can you imagine if the Spurs had lost that game because they teed him up for being away from the bench? What was he doing out there?
Being a dumbass. He's
Brutal.
a dumbass.
Yeah.
You know, we got an incoming super chat we hadn't addressed yet. This one from Matt Lerma.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
Thank you, Matt, for the $2 super chat. Look what he says, Mike.
He says, Wemby looked damn near generational to me. I'm just saying. Matt, thank you for the support and the love, but what game were you watching? He played good. He played all-star level good. But we've seen generational Wemby a few times. We've seen glimpses. I mean, the first game of the season against Dallas was one, right? The game where he had 50 points last year, that was one. He's a good player. He's a great player. He's an all-star worthy guy. He'll probably be in the top 5 in MVP voting this year if he gets to 64 games.
Yeah.
But there's something holding him back. And I don't know what it is, Joe, because he still wants to be part of the three-point line. And I think he doesn't want to be down low so much because he gets beaten up down low. He doesn't get beaten up top, but he's not the greatest three-point shooter. He's not Kevin Durant. He can improve his shot a little bit, right? The corollary that we have there, the she's out of my league corollary. He can improve his shot because he was not a bad shooter in Paris. He was an okay one. So he can get to good. He'll never be great. He can get to good, but he'll never be great. But good will work for me, Joe. Let's give some love. Let's do Hard Rock first, dude. Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio, our newest sponsor over at the Riverwalk. Dude, just take a look at the burgers. Seriously. The photo of the burger does it for me every time. Let's give some love to Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio.
The Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio is Riverwalk dining at its best. With great scenic views along with its amazing collection of rock memorabilia, there is something for everyone. Enjoy happy hour weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. with $8 and $10 appetizers, $5 domestic drafts, and $6 craft import drafts at the bar only. Try some of the Hard Rock Cafe's legendary steak burgers, or my personal favorite, such as the grilled salmon or baby back ribs. Make sure to visit the third level and enjoy the DJ as you take in the city skyline. The Hard Rock Cafe is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast.
Again, you can get your drinks over there. You get your lunch, your dinner. They even have some specials on the weekends as well. Hard Rock Cafe, San Antonio, fantastic place for a date night in San. You don't always have to go to the Pearl.
Yeah.
Part of me, Joe, thinks the Pearl's a little bit overrated, Joe. It's a little it's nice. I like going, and it's a great date night spot, but it can't be the only spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad that the old Lone Star Brewery, it looks like it's might be developed into something eventually. There needs to be more nightlife, Joe, and hopefully new arena will spur get
Yeah.
that. Will spur some
Little
more
spur.
some more out there.
You know what's funny to me yesterday, Mike, at the
Yeah.
game? When I was at the game yesterday, and that girl that was next to me was talking with me, she knew everybody at that a lot of the people that work at the Spurs arena, right, the Frost Center, and she knew some of the hype squad, right? She's like, "Oh, I went to high school with this person or whatever." So this girl comes up to her, right, and she's giving her. I didn't even know they had them. They have like San Antonio Spurs air fresheners, right, from some of the team, right? I think it was McLaren or whatever they had, and they had Sohan air fresheners. So her friend's giving her a whole bunch of these car air fresheners, and the girl looks at me and she's like, "Hey, do you want one?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." She goes, "Why?" I said, "Sohan, dude, he's gonna be gone next week." And then LG, he was talking to me yesterday because we're passing the fan shop, and I tell him, "Hey, man," I said, "You ready to get a $300 jersey?" He's like, "Well," he goes, "real talk, man." He goes, "If you want a jersey or something," he goes, "since I'm an employee, I get 40% off." I'm like, "Okay." I said, "You know what? I wouldn't mind getting a number 10 jersey." And then on the back of it, just put "gone." He started laughing. For half price, Mike, almost half price. Not bad.
Not bad. Sam Slynn is asking the question: did the Sohan air freshener smell like failure?
Oh, no. I don't know.
So, Joe, let me ask you this question, Joe. NBA trade deadline is the 5th, which is Friday. What happens if Sohan doesn't get a deal? There's no offers
Jeez,
for
man.
Sohan. What happens at that point? Do we tell him to get a shine box? Does Mitch Johnson go get your shine box? Get out of the neighborhood. Just don't come into work, baby.
Yeah.
We'll still write the checks. Because part of me is asking the question, why are the Spurs moving on from him? Because it's got to be more than he's just not a fit.
Yeah.
There's got to be an underlying reason, Joe. Is it? I mean, there's got to be an underlying reason other than the fact that he can't shoot. Because they have Carter Bryant out there, and guess what Carter Bryant can't do? Can't shoot. By the way, Carter Bryant also had the worst plus minus yesterday. You know why? Because it's hard to win games when you're 4-on-5 offensively, Joe.
But he had a spectacular dunk, Mike. Mira.
Mira, yeah.
Mira Carter.
He also failed on 3 layup attempts. Mira. So the Sohan issue is the foregone conclusion is he's going to be gone, but it takes 2 to tango. You need to have an offer that is acceptable, and obviously the Knicks have stepped up to the plate, reportedly offering 2 players for Sohan, but the Spurs don't want to play one of those guys a second year. They want him to come off the books. They want it to be where they're clearing salary, not just taking on salary. So what happens at that point, Joe? Do we just put him back in? Then we go, welcome back to the team. Go get your 13 minutes out there. What happens at that point? Mikey Mendez comes out and says, just put him down, old Yeller style. Just take him to the back. They're going to be like Ricky Vaughn in Major League. He's going to open up his locker. There's going to be a red tag there. Well, there's got to be an underlying reason, Joe. You don't do that to a player. Think about that, Joe. They're telling him to leave midway through the season. He's a healthy scratch, although they put him down as having whatever issue that they want to put on
mystery
there.
illness.
Yeah. But what if nobody wants him? Or how about this, Joe? What if nobody wants him that are teams that the Spurs are willing to do business with? Because again, What if the Lakers come knocking? What if the Nuggets come knocking,
The Rockets.
or the Rockets, or the Suns?
Yeah.
Is this a situation where you go, we're not going to do any business with a top Western Conference team?
Here's the thing that the Spurs have to understand. What's really the asking price for one Jeremy Sohan? You know he's not a good fit for your team. You're getting offers from other teams. They're not the offers that you think that you are going to want to go ahead and capitalize on. At this point, you hung on to him too long. When he did have value and you could have got something for him, you said no.
Mm-hmm.
There is a point guard. We want to go ahead and do all this silly stuff. Now that they've hung on to him too long and they're like, well, hey, we got his replacements already here. You know, Carter Bryant. Now they're trying to get rid of him. I mean, what are you going to really get for the kid? A bag of Takis? You know, come on,
Takis.
man. You just send him somewhere that's not going to be detrimental to you. You know, as far as like him maybe getting a chance to play on a playoff team, if it's in the East Coast somewhere, or even if it's in the West, maybe somewhere where you don't, see a team quite often, as
Right.
often. Either way, you got to go ahead and say, I mean, we kind of hung on to him too long. At this point, we get what we get for him and let him move on. You know?
Well, Tom Petrini of the Sports Illustrated wrote an article about it. And he theorized that the two best teams to go to for him, which are a good fit for that team, and also a good fit for the Spurs in the sense that the Spurs could actually get something in return or get draft capital in return that they would appreciate, is actually, and these are teams that would be interesting, Joe. Chicago and Philadelphia. Say in Philadelphia, Jimmy Butler got suspended for 25 games over the weekend for PEDs. What is Jimmy Butler known for? I mean, back in the day, he was a good offensive player, but he's known primarily for his defense these days. Butler's defense is not there anymore. What is Sohan known for? Defense. Maybe you want to bring him in there to beef up the defense. Maybe a team that has an overload of guards would want to have him. Imagine him going to the number 1 seed Detroit Pistons. He could flourish over there.
Probably could.
Because
I think he's going to flourish anywhere. He's going to flourish anywhere that's not San Antonio. Because maybe he'll wind up seeing second life out there, you know?
And sometimes you need that, Joe. Sometimes you need a reboot. Sometimes you need a change of scenery and realize that maybe the grass can be greener on the other side.
Well, PEDs, the guy that got suspended for the PEDs was Paul George, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. Paul George. I'm sorry. You know what's so funny, Joe, that you mentioned that? That is not the first time that I've confused Paul George and Jimmy Butler in my life. To be honest with you, I think they're the same guy. Like, have they ever been in the room together at the same time? I always do that with those two players.
Yeah, because remember
Jimmy Butler's in Golden State.
Yeah.
Paul George and Jimmy Butler, to me, are interchangeable. They are the same player in many respects to me. So I apologize that is correct. But it's so funny that I've always gotten those two players mistaken. I've always mistaken those two.
Remember, Butler's the one, he tore his ACL. He got hurt with the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, got hurt 3 weeks ago. I know these things, Joe. It's just in my head, I compute the two as being the same guy.
It's Joy-Con Drift King. Spurs are telling Jeremy, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah. Hey, the Senior Bowl is over. And because of that, ESPN has their new predictions for rounds 1 and 2 of the and Mel Kiper Jr., by the way, saw his shadow. It's Groundhog Day, by the way. Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow. 6 more weeks of winter. Could have told you that.
There's the video. I had already retweeted this. This courtesy of the Weather Channel. Put him on the smoker. Put him on the smoker, dude.
Again, that Bill Murray movie is one of the greatest comedies of all time. Phil, is that you? Ned, I don't know where you're going or where you're headed, but
look at how cold it is over there where they're at. 5 degrees, bro. Feels like -7. No, man. F all that. Standing out there with damn groundhog.
Why are they dressed like cult members from the 1700s?
Oh, man, I don't know, man. They're probably the only ones there. Ain't nobody gonna be out there -7 degrees. It feels like -7. Nah, man, I'm good.
All right, Joe. So the mock drafts are out, Joe. Senior Bowl. It's starting to take form, Joe, because right now we're less than 2 months, or we're at the 2 month mark away from the NFL draft. Super Bowl's this upcoming weekend, and then all attention will be on the draft. And ESPN, Matt Miller this morning unveiled ESPN's first post Senior Bowl mock draft, Joe, saying that now that we've seen the Senior Bowl and they've gotten to interview some of the players, we know that the combine's going to be coming up and all that stuff, that things are kind of taking form. And as of right now, going into the combine, number 1 overall, the Raiders taking Fernando Mendoza, quarterback from Indiana. They need a quarterback, somebody for the future. It's a bad quarterback year for the draft, but Mendoza is top of the list. Number 2, Arvell Reese going to the Jets. He's an edge from Ohio State. Number 3, Francis Manguia, offensive tackle from Miami, going to Arizona. Another Miami player, Ruben Bain. He's so good, dude. He is so good. Edge rusher going to Tennessee. They believe that Carnell Tate, the wide receiver, will go to the Giants. So you can have an offense with Jackson Dart, Cam Scatteraboo, Malik Neighbors, and Carnell Tate. I mean, that's their response to Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, right?
Yeah.
Going further down the list, my New Orleans Saints at number 8, they say that they're going to be enamored with Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love. And who he's compared to in this mock draft is, you passed up on Bijan Robinson the first time, you don't pass up on Bijan Robinson the second time. Makes sense to me, Joe. Because if you did that draft all over again, Bijan could have gone higher. They have the Kansas City Chiefs at 9 because, again, Chiefs had a losing record. They're the top 10 in draft picks this year. Taking David Bailey from Texas Tech. That'd be fun. As far as the Cowboys at 12, I see this on mock drafts a lot. Sonny Styles, linebacker of Ohio State. They need to bump up the defense. They short the defense. At number 20, they have the Cowboys taking edge rusher from Clemson, TJ Parker. So going linebacker, edge rusher in the first round. In the second round, let me see what they got in the second round here. Where are the Cowboys picking in the second round? Let's see. Oh, they have the Houston Texans, by the way. Houston Texans at number 20. Where are they at? The Texans trade their pick? No, they have a first round pick.
They have one.
28. Taking Blake Milor, offensive tackle out of Clemson. They need a tackle to keep CJ Stroud upright, right? CJ Stroud going into his final year. Although they could extend him with a club option. The Texans have the 34th pick. That's a pick they got from the Washington Commanders. They had them taking a safety from Oregon named Dillis Thiesman. Cowboys in the second round. Let's see. Where are they at, Joe? Where are they at? The Cowboys
12 and 20.
They trade their pick? Yeah, the Texans have 2 picks in the second round. They haven't taken Jadarian Price, another running back out of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might have traded their second rounder.
Yeah, Cowboys got the 12th and the 20th pick in the upcoming draft.
Yeah, Mario Cavazza saying the Cowboys don't have a second or a third round pick. Jeez,
no,
Louise.
they don't. They do not. Oh, and
they got a hit. They got a hit on day 1.
Yeah, we got some breaking news regarding your Saints. I saw this before they posted in the chat. But the NFL announced the Saints will be the home team for the first ever NFL game in Paris, France during the 2026 regular season. And look at this, Mike.
First of all, it makes sense. It makes sense because that logo right there. Go back there, Joe.
Yeah.
That's called the Fleur de Lis. That's the logo.
Yeah.
That's French. Makes perfect sense.
Basically, that means flower lily. You know that, right?
Yeah. Also, that was a mark of slavery back in the 1800s, but we'll save that for a different day. Literally was. But, stuff that doesn't get taught anymore. Just is what it is. Yeah. Sean Quintero says, morning, guys. And let's talk some music on the way out because we don't really call it a hard rock segment, but we switched around the commercials today. Let's give some love to P.F. Chang's La Cantera. Talk about the Grammys last night and maybe some streaming along the way. Give some love to Sean and P.F. Chang's La Cantera.
P.F. Chang's La Cantera, San Antonio's premier destination for dinner, date night, or happy hour. Enjoy one of their signature dishes, such as the Singapore street noodles, sesame chicken, or Chang spicy chicken, or their infamous Chang's chicken lettuce wraps, which are delicious, by the way. You can enjoy all this while you're dining in an Asian-inspired atmosphere. And make sure to enjoy the new outdoor patio and try some of P.F. Chang's signature cocktails and drinks during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. P.F. Chang's La Cantera is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast.
That's right, man. They do a fantastic job over there. It's great for date night. If you can't make it to the restaurant, you can always do Postmates or Uber Eats or whatever the case may be. Then you can also stop by for a cocktail if you want. $8.99 cocktail collection. Chica recommends the lychee martini. I recommend the jade margarita. And by the way, speaking of P.F. Chang's La Cantera, they do a fantastic job of not only doing this show with us and being one of our sponsors, but Joe, they also hook us up from time to time when it comes to a guest. And we have a guest coming up this Wednesday, Joe. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So our good friend Sean here, our talent coordinator here,
I like it.
he went ahead and got us a Rashad Wisdom for Wednesday. So that's going to be cool,
and
man.
possibly Frank Harris, man.
Frank Harris, yeah.
UTSA football royalty in the house. So we're looking forward to that.
We'll be talking.
That'll be Wednesday's show.
Yeah, we'll be talking Super Bowl. We're going to talk about that, Mike. It might be cool to have you here in the studio on Wednesday, man.
It's going to be difficult too on Wednesday. I will be in studio Thursday and Friday. I'll try for Wednesday, but it's not looking good. It's looking like I'll be remote on Wednesday.
Gotcha.
But for sure, Thursday and Friday, I will be in studio. So for those who want to hang out, San Antonio, Wednesday through Saturday this week. So very nice. Let's talk about the Grammys last night. When it comes to the award shows, Joe, it's the only one I care about. I don't care about the Oscars. I don't care about the Emmys. Who gives a crap about the Tonys? Right? I like Grammy Awards, Joe, because I like to think that I understand a little bit of music, right, Joe?
Yeah.
But last night, the Recording Academy gave out their awards, and some of the names that won, it was kind of to be expected. I don't think there was any major surprises out there. Record of the year, winner was Kendrick Lamar. So record of the year is like best song, basically, is what it is, right? There's one that goes to the writer. There's one that goes to the performer. Record of the year was Kendrick Lamar and SZA for the song Luther, which I love that song, Joe. I listened to Luther a lot. That's probably one of my Spotify top 10 lists of last year. Album of the year, Bad Bunny, the Bunny, who's going to be performing at the halftime show, the Super Bowl halftime show this upcoming weekend. Song of the year was Billie Eilish for Wildflower. She's a staple when it comes to the winners right there. Oh, we have them all right there. Very nice. Olivia Dean won Best New Artist. They had a medley there. Lady Gaga won for Best Pop Vocal Album. Best Solo Performance, Lola Young. Kendrick Lamar won Best Rap Album for GNX. Best Rock Album, Linkin Park. How did that happen? Best R&B Album, Leon Thomas, Mutt. Congratulations to Leon Thomas, man. He's been behind the scenes for the better part of a decade. And if you have kids that are in their 20s, you might remember a TV show called Victorious on Nickelodeon back in the day. He was on Victorious. He was one of the stars of that TV show back in the day. Leon Thomas, who's also written a lot of the songs for Ariana Grande, who was on that show with him back about a decade ago. When it came to country, it was Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll won Album of the Year. So they actually picked a country singer this time to win the Country Album of the Year. Joe, any surprises? Any of these songs that you like? Or are you just like, man, I don't know, don't care about any of those songs?
Don't know, don't care. Just busy at Twin Peaks having me some beers, having some fun. I didn't see the Grammys because I was at the game, and it's hard to be out there watching the Grammys while you're watching the Spurs, and I'm talking with LG, and then there's this other girl next to me, and we're all talking, having a good time watching the game. So it was fun, dude.
Yeah, Mikey Mendez reaches out to us in our chat, powered by PF Chang's La Cantera, and says, didn't tune in, but saw Justin Bieber in his underoos. I haven't heard that video, that performance, but actually I'm going to make a point today to watch that performance because everyone's raving about Justin Bieber's performance. He debuted a new song yesterday, so it wasn't like one of his hits. He debuted a new song, but Joe, he went out there on stage in his boxers. and it was just him, just by himself doing music, and everybody is just raving about it, saying that that was one of the best parts of the show. They did pay homage to Flaco Jimenez on the show in the in memoriam segment of it all, and
Wow.
then on top of that, um, there was a performance by former members of the Fugees. So Lauren Hill and the one that's not in jail. I think I think Wyclef Jean was the one that was there. Proswell, I think, is the one that's in jail, alleged. I think I got those two
The
correct.
one that's not in jail, bro.
Proswell's the one that got in trouble, right? Pros. I got those names right, man. It's
Oh my
from
god.
'98, man. Uh, Joe, streaming this weekend. How is it that I fell in love, and Chica and I fell in love with a mini series that's a decade old, and we had no idea. I thought it was brand new. We watched 11/22/63. Did you see that on Netflix? It's like one of the top
What the
Netflix
hell
top
is that?
choices. Okay, it was a mini series that came out on Hulu back in 2016, 10 years ago. 10 years ago. And it's now one of the top shows on Netflix. So somehow it originated on Hulu 10 years ago, came over to Netflix. It's one of the top 10 rated. In fact, it's one of the top 5 rated shows in on Hulu right now. I mean, on Netflix right now. It stars James Franco. So James Franco, who as I told Chica yesterday, does a lot of what are they called
Controversy, I guess.
controversial shows. Although I did like him
Yeah.
in that one with Seth Rogen, not Pineapple Express, but what's that other one that he was in
Where
when he
they're
goes
making
to
fun of
South
Kim
Kim
Jong
Jong
Un.
Un, the
Yeah.
North Korea one. That's a great movie. That's a great movie. But 11/22/63 was a miniseries that he did 10 years ago about a time traveler who's trying to prevent JFK from being assassinated. So he's trying to get behind, try to find out who killed him or who was trying to kill him and to stop it from happening. That's the whole point of the movie. Go back in time to do this. And it was a good show, Joe. And by the way, it's based on a book written by Stephen King. And there I am watching, going, man, James Franco put out a good thing. I'm glad to see that he's matured in what he's been doing. And then you look and it says copyright 2016. Just 10 years ago. Like I guess nobody had Hulu 10 years ago. Like I've had Hulu the last 4 or 5 years. Who had Hulu 10 years ago?
Yeah.
But it somehow made its way over. It was a good movie, man. It was good. You watch anything good this weekend, Joe?
I told you, I think it was on Friday. I had texted you because I was, I have the TV on as I'm working, just background, some for the background. And I was watching, I think it was on AMC, and they had the original Independence Day on. So I took a picture of it, right, where he's doing his speech, and then I sent it to you. And I said one of the greatest speeches from a fake president in all of movie stardom, right? Movie history. And it's Independence Day, and I'm like, I know Mike's over here rolling his eyes saying, "Ole, ole, ole, stupid, stupid."
Okay, so first of all, I love me some Independence Day. It is the stupidest, dumbest movie of all time. You know what this is? Independence Day to me is Ice Ice Baby. Okay?
Right.
Independence Day to me is Color Me Bad. It is a guilty pleasure, right? I'm not going to turn it off. I'm not going to seek it out either, but I'm not going to turn it off, and I'll probably listen to it or watch it once a year. It's a movie that we remember from our youth. It's fun. But the actual plot line is stupid.
Stupid, stupid.
Like which has the worst plot line? Armageddon or Independence Day? Because they're
No,
both in the
Armageddon.
same vein.
Armageddon by far stupid as hell, dude.
But they're popcorn flicks, so they're ultimate popcorn flicks. Ultimate popcorn flicks. I showed Chica 2 movies from way back when that she had never seen before. One was an 80s classic, one was a 90s classic. We saw the movie Juice, which was Tupac Shakur's first movie. She had never seen it before. She liked it, right?
Yeah.
She had never seen Boys in the Hood. She saw that last weekend. So now we're catching her up on 90s movies, right? But she liked Boys in the Hood more than Juice, but Juice was a really good movie, and it showed how talented Tupac was. If that was his first movie, it showed how
Yeah.
talented he was.
Sure, one of
But
my favorites, dude. If you're liking, you're watching that other one. What did you call it? Boys in the Hood. Go and
yeah,
check out one of my favorites, Menace to Society.
first of all, that's a great movie, and I think that's the ultimate movie. But
Yeah.
you mispronounced the name. It is Jimenez to Society.
Oh no, bro.
Jimenez to Society. Remember, keep that forever. Got to make a shirt out of that. Jimenez to Society. No, the movie that I showed her over the weekend that was funny because I just turned it on, thinking that she was going to want me to turn it off after 5 minutes. An Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It's on Netflix.
God
We watched Twins with Danny DeVito, and dude,
damn.
it didn't get turned off the entire hour and a half. I forgot how much I enjoyed that movie. I saw the movie growing up. That's one of the few movies I did watch growing up because it was allowable, dude. It was a funny movie. Dude, Schwarzenegger was so good in that movie. That might be one of his best performances of all time. Him in comedic timing, dude. It's great. JHNSB says he'd buy that shirt. He menaces society.
Menace to Society. God, you know which one else is a guilty pleasure, but it's funny, and I think you've watched it before.
Yeah.
That one movie with Kevin Bacon, where he's like, forced to be like a guy that goes out there and scouts talents because he used to be a college basketball star and he hurt his knee. The Air Up There. I know you've seen that stupid ass
I've
movie.
never seen that.
You need to see that movie, dude, with Kevin Bacon, wherever it might be streaming at. It's called The Air Up There. And basically, he has to go ahead and he goes to Africa, right? Because he finds this talent out there. This one guy, really tall, athletic guy, and he's on this tribe, right? So the thing is, he wants to play basketball, right? And they have this little hoop set up, in the dirt and whatnot, with all the other tribe people, right? His people out there. And Kevin Bacon has to go ahead and play a game, right? Even though he's wearing a knee brace and whatnot. And if he wins, the agreement is they let the kid, the prospect, right, that he scouted, come over to go to college in the States and play for the team. So
Mhm.
it's the premise of the whole stupid
And it's
movie.
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, bro.
I
The
can't
Air
see
Up
Kevin
There.
Bacon being athletic after knowing that he danced in Footloose.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good movie involving like old school movie, but it's kind of sports adjacent. Against All Odds with Jeff Bridges. That was a really good movie back in the early '80s. I love Jeff Bridges. He's one of my he bats nearly 1,000 with me. If Jeff
Yeah.
Bridges is in a movie, it's usually pretty good, man. '90s
Let's see
basketball
if I
movies rule. That's what Big Sean PD says. I almost if I have some time alone at home, I think I might put on Blue Chips with Nick
Blue
Nolte.
Oh God, dude.
I saw that growing up, but I haven't seen it in 30 years. I don't like if I put it on, I wouldn't remember one scene or anything about it.
Yeah. I'm gonna show you the like artwork that they had or the poster that they have for this thing, dude.
Yeah.
You need to this is your homework, Miguelito. You need to go see this movie, dude, and tell me what you think about it. It came out in 1994. The Air Up There, and there you go. There's Kevin Bacon.
Who says that it's Hand of a Fist says it's like he finds Akeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, basically, dude.
It just
As a
seems
kid,
that just seems so racist, man.
I'm just saying, go watch it, dude.
Dude, I don't know. It's reminded me of that scene in Airplane when he joins he goes to Africa and he shows them how to play basketball and within minutes
Yeah.
they all know how to play. It just gives me those vibes, dude. Movies that cannot be made.
White Man Can't Jump is also one of my all-time favorites from the basketball.
Oh, it's
from the
great,
basketball
man.
film, man.
Although it's funny hearing that Wesley Snipes was not very good at basketball. That they had to
Yeah.
like do like this magic to make him look good. A lot of slow mo.
God. What's the other basketball movie that was good out there? Oh, Hoosiers. Remember that one? The old
Yeah.
movie? Yeah. Blue Chips was
Oh no, Hoosiers suck, dude. No, man, I'm not gonna.
Hoosiers
I'm
is one
not.
of those old movies, dude. I'm telling you, old.
That movie sucked, dude. I'm sorry, Jimmy Chitwood, The Gate. I'll make it. We're gonna use you as a decoy. I'll make it.
Oh.
Alex Noriega telling on himself, saying in the movie Twins, he meant it's like Marnie from the grocery store.
Oh, dude, I forgot about this when George Con Drift King. Like Mike,
like
with little
Mike with
Bow Wow.
Bow
Remember
Wow.
that with the old Jordans that he found hanging on the telephone pole? Oh man.
Never saw Like Mike. No, I think about. I remember the clips, but I never saw that movie. Um, Sean Quintero seems to be a little bit offended by Hoosiers. Hoosiers is a stupid movie, dude. It,
Oh,
it, it,
God.
it's a stupid, sappy movie, man. The worst
You know
sports
what?
movie of all time is Rudy. That's the stupidest movie of all time.
What's that other movie? So you should watch these two
Juana, man.
together. You should watch these two movies together because they kind of go together. The Air Up There and that other one with the Jamaican bobsled team that had John Candy in it. What was it
Oh
called?
yeah, the fictional movie called Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings. Watch those two back to back, bro.
No. See, the problem with Cool Runnings is that the Cool Runnings is like Rudy. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Like Cool Runnings, the Jamaican bobsled team, and all that stuff. That
Yeah.
actually physically happened, but none of the movie. It's like 0% accurate, other than the fact that there was a Jamaican bobsled team. That's the only factual part of it all. But the idea that they had no idea how to bobsled or they didn't know what it was like and was complete Disney fabrication.
Man, Disney was throwing out some bangers back in the day, Mike. Cool Runnings and then the Air Up There, bro. Like, put that on the DVD, man. Come on, Mike. You're gonna go ahead and slander the great John Candy. Come on, man.
I'm just slandering the fact that these movies are based on a true story, but they're not actual true stories. Kind of like, you see movies like Bohemian Rhapsody, which won Rami Malek an Oscar for Best Actor a few years ago. Bohemian Rhapsody was also nonsense. Like literally chronologically wasn't even accurate as to what was going on in their lives, and they made it sound like the end of Bohemian Rhapsody. Am I? Can I tell the part of the ending?
Go ahead, dude. I mean, it's been a long time. I'm thinking everybody saw it already, Mike.
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody, where Freddie Mercury tells him that he has HIV and that he wants to take part in Live Aid, which the Live Aid performance, by the way, is considered to be Queen's performance on Live Aid is considered to be the greatest rock performance of all time. And I don't disagree with that. If you go onto YouTube, look up Queen's Live Aid performance, it's remarkable, it's epic, and that's the final scenes of the movie of Bohemian Rhapsody. But in the movie, they made it sound like they hadn't played together in years, and it was their first performance in a long time, all that stuff, and it was all bullcrap. They had been touring. It was like the last concert of their tour. They've been doing all of that stuff, and it's like, I don't know, man. I understand taking some artistic liberties and stuff like that, but when you're telling a completely fabricated story, or as my wife likes to call me, embellisher. If you're embellishing it too much, it's a little bit too much for me. Joy-Con says, spoilers, Mike, I didn't finish the movie. Well, he died of AIDS. That's, that's Elvis died on a toilet. There's we all know the endings of these movies. You go watch the Alamo movie, guess what? Mexico wins. then they lose a month later. I mean, we're not spoiling anything. Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense. That would be a spoiler.
But
Mario
was it
says,
really though?
It's kind of like Sam Slita says the Mike Jimenez biopic is going to be all caps. It's going to be epic.
The Embellisher. That would be your film, The Embellisher.
What was the one that I told Chica the other day that she thought was like, she doesn't like hearing the story because she's like, I don't believe that it happened. I don't know. There's one in particular. Oh my God. I gotta.
That's
think
probably
about
where you fended off the would-be robber that wanted to rob you at the ATM with the tennis racket.
Yeah, that was funny. That did happen though. Wells Fargo downtown. It did happen. Now, he wasn't a tough-looking dude. It was a scrawny little Edgar with a little blade. But so I'm not going to say that he came at me like Crocodile Dundee, like with a big old, Bowie knife or whatever. No, it was a little blade, but scared him off. Save my $60. Mike's movie is going to be called All Cat. Now, there's one in particular that Chica thinks and it's not even like one that's like even wild and exciting. Like she thought the whole Jordan Knight thing was like stupid and all cap. And then when Anthony Pittman came up and got on the phone, was like, dude, everything he's talking about happened. It's just like, that's weird. That's weird.
God. All right, man. We're
Change
gonna have to call it.
NSB saying that
Mhm.
Gabriel Iglesias would play me. Fluffy would pay me. But I'm somehow 8 pounds lighter today than I was 2 weeks ago. Man, those water pills work great, man. What happens when you have salt? Dude, I feel like $1,000,000. We need to figure out a time and date for our party, Joe. Because I hear that Little Woodrow's might not be the spot.
We're gonna find out. I mean, we've already kind of paid for stuff already, so I got to get with Sean. But even if it's outdoors, man, the 28th is probably when we're gonna have it because if we do it on the other date, you're not gonna be there.
Right.
So we have to do it on the 28th. Rain or shine, whatever. We're gonna have to go ahead and move forward with it.
Very nice, Joe. We'll figure it out, Joe. We'll figure it out. Hey, thank you so much to P.F. Chang's La Cantera and Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio for sponsoring today's show. Thank you so much to all of you guys who are hitting the like button right now, who are hitting the like button. And thank you to all the people out there who send me referrals when it comes to financial services. If you have any questions about retirement accounts, any questions about life insurance, long-term care, disability, give me a call, 210-508-0369, 210-508-0369. I will be in San Antonio Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday doing some work appointments. So if you want to meet, talk about your retirement accounts, talk about your insurance needs, give me a call. We'll set it up or shoot me a text, 210-508-0369, and we'll set it up, Joe. The show's been really good to me. Been sending me a lot of referrals. A lot of the listeners are clients themselves. Really appreciate it. And our numbers are getting back up to where they were pre-Christmas, which is nice.
Yeah.
Joe, one of the things I want to talk to you about is it time to come back and add a second avenue? Is it time to add the Facebook element to it all? Maybe. We got to figure that one out, man.
We can. You maybe Sean's saying Hard Rock, so maybe we'll move the show to the Hard Rock or move the venue to the Hard Rock, dude. Centralized downtown.
Centralized, and they show us love. So yeah, let's make it happen. Everyone have a fantastic Monday. Again, the Spurs, by the way, ticket prices for the game against the Thunder this week in San Antonio, kind of pricey, man, for a weekday.
Make more money, Mike.
Gotta make more money. Gotta send me some clients so that I can afford to go, man. You know, I make more money, especially when people that listen to the show send me people to play with.
You're gonna be sitting up there with the poors, the peasants.
Maybe, but I'll be in studio Thursday and Friday again. Rashad Wisdom, Frank Harris, Wednesday on the Area 210 podcast. Couldn't be excited about that.
Why don't you go ask your friend the Jackals, man? Maybe they have a seat for you over there.
I have no idea who those people are. I don't know how to get a hold of them.
Nacho and your buddy Nacho and Big Red and all those guys.
Nacho. Dude, come on, man. I have no beef with the Jackals anymore.
You're an honorary Jackal now, Mike. I mean,
hey, they got tickets, baby. I gotta take this jersey out for a spin. You know, it's funny because I've watched a game in Houston. I've watched a game in Dallas. I'm gonna watch a Spurs game in Miami. I gotta at least watch at least one game this year at the Frostbank Center. I gotta make it happen.
Yeah.
Everyone have a fantastic day. We'll be back tomorrow.
See you boys tomorrow. Have a good one. We're out. Peace.